can't even begin to tell you how many times I've heard home sellers complain about the realtor, how the process went, and even after they close escrow, there's a ton of issues that arise. This isn't about bashing the industry, but I come from a business background before real estate, so I see this market a little differently than most. The whole purpose of this video, though, is to help you avoid hiring the wrong agent and protect yourself through the sale of your house. Being a successful realtor is hard. It's like opening a restaurant. Everybody thinks it sounds great until they're actually doing it, and very few succeed. That's exactly why finding the right agent to represent the sale of your home is essential. 87% of agents will not make it 5 years in this business, so knowing how long the agent's been in business is huge, okay? You want to be very careful about getting someone in their first year or two that hasn't been through multiple markets, hasn't seen the ups and the downs of real estate. So let's jump right into it. The number one mistake that sellers make, well, they don't do the research. They just talk to a friend at the yoga studio, the golf range, their book club, and they hire whoever sounds good or whoever their neighbor used, okay? You need to interview at least 3 realtors, minimum 3. And if you're not satisfied with one of them, keep interviewing until you get a good vibe with the agent you are hiring. Good agents know they're good. They're going to encourage you to talk to other people because they know it's going to push you back to them. I'll link our home selling strategy guide down below if you want to go deeper into all this. It's only $7 and it gives you all the strategies you need to know to get your home sold for the most amount of money. How do you research an agent though? Before anyone even steps into your home for an interview, I want you to look them up online, confirm they've got an active license. A lot of agents out there, they don't. They let their license lapse because they're not really that active in real estate. Maybe it's part-time for them. It's not like a full-time job that like they're doing like we do. But check their online presence. If they aren't marketing themselves online, they're probably not going to be marketing your house online either. It should be like very easy to find them digitally. Read the reviews carefully on these agents as well. If an agent has thousands of reviews on Zillow or Google, ask yourself, are those real or are they paid for? Legitimate reviews come from real closings. I want you to note that Zillow has the ability to verify a buyer or seller worked with a particular agent, but Google and Facebook, they do not. So Google is going to be much less reliable, where Zillow is going to actually know for sure that was a transaction for that agent. They just have the technology and the ability to do that. So Zillow verified reviews are really good. There's really 3 pricing strategies that every agent's going to have, and they all come from the same comps. Every agent's going to pull those same sets of comps and data. And there's really only 3 ways to list a house, three prices, okay? There's below market value, where you just like list it really aggressively. You list it at market value. And then the worst one, you list it above market value. The most successful sellers though, they just price it at market value or just a touch below, and then let the market push it up if the market supports a higher price. But overpricing in today's market never pays off. This is why you see so many canceled listings, so many expired listings, and why we see dozens of price reductions every single day in this market, okay? I want you to also watch out for the agent that buys the listing. What does buy the listing mean? Well, buy the listing means that an agent is inflating the price they're telling you just to win the listing. They're saying, hey, they can sell for this certain number, even though they know they can't get that number, and that number is not supported by comps or data. And then it turns into an auction strategy between agents. It's not really a strategy. They tell you this just crazy high number. They convince you that you can get it, even though it's not supported. What they'll do later, once they have the listing signed, is they'll start to come back to you for price reductions, knowing they already have the listing secured. So make sure you justify the price with comps. You should already have a sense of what your home is worth. Do not get fooled. You can go onto Zillow, you can kind of research online, see what similar homes have sold for. Don't go just off the Zestimate or the Redfin value of your house. Actually pull up homes that have closed or that are listed actively that are similar to your house. They're like maybe in the same neighborhood, similar square footage, similar age, and most importantly, similar style as well. Like don't compare a 1-story home to a split level or things like that, okay? But you should look at what those homes are listed for and see how they compare to your house. So what buyers actually notice and what it costs you. The decisions you make as a seller don't just affect you, they shape how every buyer perceives the home before they even walk in. So this is things like staging and decluttering. You don't ignore your agent's advice on prep. Staging doesn't have to be expensive. You can do it with what you own. Staging can be expensive if the house is empty or if you have no furniture, if a lot of furniture needs to be brought in, but it doesn't have to be that way. But a well-prepared home shines online, and buyers pay a premium for a home that looks cared and maintained. This creates a feeling within a home. It's not just a house, but people feel a certain way when they walk in it. It feels cozy. It feels warm. It feels like a vibe. That is really, really important to get the house sold, okay? The agent should have a plan on how to help you get your home fully prepared. When a house is cluttered, buyers assume one of 2 things. Either you're in trouble and there's a deal to be had, or the home isn't worth what you're asking. Neither one of these positions helps you or these assumptions, okay? It sends a very bad message to buyers that you're desperate. You want to also think about repairs before listing. Don't take the sold as is mindset on the small stuff, the leaky faucet, the loose toilet, the busted garage disposal, the smoke detectors. Buyers notice every single one of these things. And when they notice these things, they start wondering what else isn't being maintained or disclosed. The agent should have vendor and contractor relationships to be able to help you get bids from proven contractors. But all these things matter, and you have to realize that buyers discount work that needs to be done massively. So like, let's say the carpet needs to be redone. It was going to be $4,000. They're going to come in $10,000 or $15,000 off on the price for that carpet. So it's going to be massively to your advantage to just tackle those things before you list. You got to also make sure that you over disclose every single time. Most sellers are afraid of disclosing that defects of their house or issues they've had. They think they're going to scare buyers off, but the opposite is actually true. Buyers respect transparency, and the silence comes back to bite you if you do try to hide things. So watch out for the agent that doesn't encourage you to disclose anything that could be a problem with your property. This can really open you up to future legal exposure, past leaks, mold, pest issues, repairs, upgrades. You could literally write a novel on there. But your agent, they're going to tell you to over disclose if they're a good agent. I don't care who they are. Like if they're saying don't disclose this, you need to really think twice about working with that person, okay? You're really opening the door to a lot of legal exposure later on. Next up is marketing. The reality is that most agents go cheap on the photography. They take iPhone photos, or they just use an inexpensive photographer that shoots weddings and birthdays and whatever else. They just happen to be out here shooting a house this day. And then they put the home in the MLS and they pray that a buyer agent brings a buyer along. But that's not really a marketing strategy. You need to demand professional photography from a real estate specific photographer. You need to have drone photography. You need to have a floor plan. You need to understand the agent's marketing strategy to get your home in front of thousands of people online beyond simply the MLS. You need to remember, I tell my clients this all the time, the first showing now happens online. It doesn't happen in person. So how your home looks digitally is essential to getting it sold. On our team, we have advanced marketing capabilities that few agents can match. We create your dedicated website for your house, and that website becomes the landing page to paid ads on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and thousands of other websites so that local buyers can see your house. When they click the photos or the videos, it doesn't just link them to a list of homes in that area. It just links them to your one house, okay? There's no other option but just to look at your home. So they tend to stay on that website for much longer. All right, commissions. Let's talk about the elephant in the room for just a minute and discuss commissions. You need to remember when you're talking to agents that they can charge whatever they want for commissions. There is no standard for it. Yes, 6% is like the old standard that has existed in real estate for a long time. Some agents charge more, some charge that, some charge less, okay? You just gotta be aware of that. But for many of my clients, their home is the single largest financial asset they have. And so they want to hire the absolute best to represent them through the process of selling. It's sort of like hiring an attorney. You can either hire the associate that is fresh out of law school, that is super cheap per hour, that'd be like the newer agent, but has no experience and is going to learn on your dime. Or you can pay more and get a seasoned veteran, like the partner at the law firm example, that's done this hundreds of times, has proven processes, that has systems, that has a support team, and is not just a one-man show. They've done this literally dozens and hundreds of times, and they can show you the process works, okay? They're not just guessing on what works. They've got a proven process that really results in a predictable outcome. You're smart, you get it, and you get what you pay for. You just got to remember that you have to ask yourself if you care more about how much you're going to pay your agent or how much you're going to net when you sell your house. There is a big difference. The experienced agent is going to net you more every time with proven marketing, vast experience in negotiations, and being able to avoid many of the mistakes and pitfalls that agents make along the way that cost their clients tons of money. Mistakes in real estate are often very expensive, like tens of thousands of dollars, and you don't want this person to learn on your dime because they have not seen what is going to happen with your house before. It takes years of doing this to have seen every different scenario that can come up in real estate, and even then sometimes crazy situations still come up. Also, when an agent cuts their commissions, this tells you two things. One, they are saving that same amount of money by not paying to market your property. They're not just like taking out the money they're going to make. They're literally like taking out the marketing dollars from your house. And two, that agent is a terrible negotiator. If you're a better negotiator than them, do you really want them negotiating on your behalf for your most valuable asset? Just think about that for a minute. But before you sign anything, make sure you understand the contract. And if you have any questions and still aren't sure about the contract, have the agent explain it to you. There's some contract terms that you need to know. The first one is the listing contract term. Most good agents won't sign a listing agreement that is any less than 6 months. Most of ours are 12. They want to make sure they'll actually get a reasonable amount of time to recoup the investment that they make into your house. Listings are expensive. The agent may have, thousands of dollars invested into getting your home sold. They have a right, and it's only fair they get a chance to get that money back. The listing contract term, though, again, they expect at least 6 months, maybe longer if they're a veteran agent. That doesn't mean that you can't get out of the contract. You can, of course, cancel it. You just need to understand what are the cancellation terms. How do you do that? And then, of course, staging. Who is going to pay for it? How long is it good for? Who pays for the extensions if it is not sold within that term? Staging is extremely expensive in real estate. Like, people don't understand how expensive it is, but it has a huge impact on how much a house sells for. Some NAR data, the National Association of Realtors, they did a study on this about 10 years ago, and staged homes versus empty vacant homes sold for 4% more money. So if the average home price is $800,000 here, it's a $32,000 difference if it's staged. And say it costs $5,000 to stage a home, that's an amazing return on that investment, okay? But staging, you need to figure out, is the agent paying for it? Are you paying for it? What are the details? And how long is it good for? Because staging is only good typically for a month, and then you have to renew it. But you need to understand the price, you understand the terms, understand the commissions, and understand the fees. All these things are things that you need to make sure you wrap your head around and the agent has explained to you. So let's just kind of recap the seller's checklist. You need to interview at least 3 agents. Keep going until one really feels right. You'll feel it when you talk to the right person. They're going to just connect with you. They're going to understand your situation, your concerns, your fears, and be able to speak to those with real experience. You need to verify the active license and read real reviews. You need to make sure you don't fall for the highest list price. You have to make them justify the price they're going to list your house at. If it doesn't seem like it's backed by comps, be very skeptical. You need to listen on staging, decluttering, and repairs. You need to be careful trying to go cheap on the agent you hire. You truly get what you pay for. You need to also make sure you over-disclose everything. Write the novel out on that seller disclosure form. And then never sign a listing contract on the same day as the interview if you haven't already interviewed several agents, okay? You can grab our home selling guide for $7. It's going to walk you through everything you need to get your home ready to sell. It costs less than really a cup of coffee at Starbucks anymore. You can even grab our style guide that will make it easy for you to pick the right colors, flooring, paint that buyers are looking for right now. There's a link below. We've sold this to people across literally the entire country. But my name is Mike Novak, along with my partner, Rachel Novak. We've formed the Novak Real Estate Team. We've helped over 1,600 families buy and sell homes right here in Snohomish County in the last 9 years. So if you're thinking about selling and you want a team that will tell you the truth, not just what you want to hear, you can schedule time to chat via the link below. You fill out a form, we'll review that form, and then reach out to you to schedule time to talk if we think we could be a good fit to help you make a move. Of course, like, share, subscribe this video into our channel so you get notified when we drop the next video. I drop a new video each and every week.